Now, the European Union has invested 132 million euros in improving sustainable agriculture in Ghana. According to the EU ambassador to Ghana, Echad Razali, the support to the agri sector is hinged on three pillars which seek to ensure that Ghanaian farmers adapt to climate change as well as adopt innovative approaches that do not contribute to climate change. He spoke at a roundtable forum organized by the EU in collaboration with the German corporation.
Rural livelihoods in Ghana are facing the increasing consequences of climate change and degradation. To cushion Ghana's food inflation against these consequences and increase self-sufficiency, the European Union is investing 132 million euros in various projects. Echad Razali is the EU ambassador to Ghana.
And the European Union is a very big actor in Ghana when it comes to agriculture. We have an ongoing programs of 132 million euros in Ghana, which seeks to address three pillars. First pillar is linked to infrastructure, irrigations, for example, access road, we call them feeder road for the products to access markets. The second pillar is linked to the competitiveness, to the improvement, increasing of the yields and the production. And the third pillar is linked to the regenerative practices. Because to some extent, the former practices have depleted the soil. The soils have been washed out by erosion, so on and so forth. So this is, I would say, an holistic programs, 132 million euros, in order to address those issues.
Development Corporation of the Embassy of Germany, Ramona Simon, emphasized the need to invest in agriculture to slow the rate of climate change. According to her, agriculture is the solution to climate change.
Like the enormous rise of costs for imported fertilizers are severe problems farmers also in Ghana currently face. At the same time, climate-related disasters such as droughts and floods are big threats to agricultural production. Flooding, for example, comes only after epidemics as the most severe natural disaster in Ghana. Especially in the northern parts of the country, which are the most vulnerable ones when it comes to climate change effects, this calls for sustainable solutions to build an economically as well as ecologically resilient agricultural system.
Nafisa Mahama, a farmer and an agricultural extension agent at Wa West District, lamented about the over-reliance of farmers on primitive activities that affect the environment. She highlighted some sustainable ways of farming.
I thought it necessary to inform my farmers to do in order to sustain their lands, or at least reduce this climate change kind of a things. One, the minimum disturbance of the soil is a factor that I preach day in, day out. That the continual turning of the soil over years is something that is affecting our cropping. And another thing I do preach to my farmers is the retention of their crop residue. That is when it comes to them burning it. I advise them after harvest, you then burn your crop residue. And another thing I advise my farmers to do is the issue of this crop diversification.
The roundtable discussion was themed, how can we adapt agriculture to climate change in Ghana?